So welcome. And this is my first live in this group. And if you're a new member here, thank you so much for joining us. And a big warm welcome to you. If you don't know me, my name is Shangkari and I am a personal development and relationship coach. So I help people mostly with healing, emotional healing, creating a safe internal space, dealing with past trauma or relationship trauma. And so that is a little bit about what I do. I intended this group to sort of create a safe space for us to discuss some of these topics, discuss tips, practical tips on how to create a safe internal environment. When I mean internal environment is that you want to feel safe within yourself. You want to have peace in yourself. So in order to do all of that, there are certain things that we have to go through. There's certain things that we have to understand. So a lot of this is about creating that awareness, creating that inner awareness so we can do that more proactively for ourselves. So today I would like to discuss, as you can see from the title, how to feel better instantly. So if you are feeling anxious, so if you are in the UK, today we have started the reducing restrictions. And so a lot of places are now open, restaurants are now open for outdoors meals. So what I wanted to talk about is when things change in the external world, we start to have this feeling of overwhelm um, or slightly anxious. It can happen. So how do you feel better instantly? And it is very simple. The technique is very simple, but it takes a lot of your focus and a lot of your determination to do it. So how to feel better instantly? Become very aware of your present moment. So if you are feeling overwhelmed and you know this where you are beginning to become very anxious, where your thoughts are running 1,000 miles a minute, and what you need to do is bring all that focus, that attention that you're putting into those thoughts, into those circumstantial situations or projections, bring all that awareness, that focus, and that attention back into yourself, back into your body. So you want to take the time to move your awareness, sort of, or rather, focus your attention. It's very simple this way. Focus your attention on your physical body. Start with your, so feel into your toes. Are they on the ground? Are they curled up against you? Are they, how do they feel? The soles of your feet, the ankles, and gently move up into your knees, into your thighs, your hips, your belly, your abdomen. So now when you come up to the hip area, when you come up to the belly, you want to move that awareness into the back of your body, right? Your spine, the back of your heart, the back of your head. So instead of your awareness and focus and attention outside of you, it is now inside your body. So you want to feel into, are you feeling any sensations inside of the body? Is it difficult to breathe? Or is it easy to breathe? How are you feeling within? Take a deep breath in and gently begin to focus that same attention, that same awareness on the breath. So as you inhale, appreciate or take into consideration or notice the quality of breath. How does it feel? How does it feel moving through your lungs? If you are not breathing to the fullness of your ability, because this can happen when you're feeling anxious, when we are feeling sad or upset, our breath becomes very shallow. It doesn't matter. Just keep your breath as it is. You don't have to change it. You don't have to move it in any way. Just keep your awareness on your breath. And then gently, you will notice that it begins to go deeper, that begins to go lower. Follow that breath and keep your attention and awareness on your breath inside of your physical. Become very alert within you. Become very present to the place you're sitting, or where you are sitting, how you are sitting, your environment, your immediate environment, not not the environment far from you, just where you are right now, the chair you're sitting on, the place you are in, and just be very, very aware. And then very gently focus your attention on who is sensing this, sensing the body, sensing the breath, who is taking notice, who is watching, who is the observer. So that is the technique. All you have to do is become very, very alert to and bring your awareness, your focus and attention into your physical body. And then the next step is to just be in this space. Be in this space for a few moments. Take your time. Be here as long as you need to be. It doesn't matter how long you stay here, as long as it feels good. You want to begin to you want to stay in this space until you feel that sense of peace. You feel that inner space. You will feel it, but you have to be here long enough in order to feel that. So you want to allow yourself that time. And you must commit to doing this. That's the only way to take the focus and attention out of the thoughts, out of the projections of the mind, out of the projected outcomes of a certain situation, because all of these, none of these are in your present. They are all in the future, or perhaps they're not even true half of the time. So what we put our attention on, what we bring our attention to, that is what is our reality. That becomes our inner reality. So we want our inner reality to be within our being and not external to it. If something happens externally, then you have to be in a space of peace in order to respond in the best way. So what we tend to do is assume a lot of things, and because we're using projections of the mind, projections of the subconscious mind, and then we assume a lot of situations or circumstances that may happen when they have not yet happened, and we react to those rather than responding to the actual objective reality that we are facing. So this might be a little abstract for now, but we'll get into more detail later or in the future. But this is the practice and this is the technique. You want to do this as often as you can. All it takes is a few minutes, a couple of minutes, just to sit down with yourself and bring your awareness into your being, bring your awareness into your breath. Two things to consider. You want to feel your energy at the back of your body. That's where you feel that peace. When your energy or your awareness rests behind you, you feel a lot more peaceful. Try it. Rest your energy, or sort of bring your attention to the back of your body and sense how you feel. And then try it. Bring your awareness to the front of your body and sense how you feel. There is a difference. If you're very sensitive, you notice it immediately. So, and the next thing, number 2, accept what is right now. This may be counterintuitive, but acceptance to what is happening in the moment right now, even if the moment is mind story about something, some projected future. Accept that you have these thoughts. Accept that you're feeling this way. Accept that the emotions that are rising right now in response to these thoughts that are not as comfortable is arising within you. Once you have that acceptance, that inner yes, yes, I see it. Yes, I know it's here. Yes, I can sense it. Immediately, that feeling of that pressure is taken away. That pressure no longer is there. So it is this pressure that, we resist. So if we have an uncomfortable thought, if we have something, we don't want something to happen, and we have that thought, that thing is going to happen. It is the resistance to it that creates the pain. It is the resistance to it that creates the anxiety. So by saying yes and acknowledging and accepting that I have this thought, it doesn't mean it's going to happen. It doesn't mean it's true. I'm just acknowledging the fact that I have this thought and I have this idea or belief. It's okay. We can change the idea, we can change the belief. But what we want to do is first bring ourselves into a space of peace, of resonance with our true core energy. And then we will respond and not react to the thought. So we want to generate, you can't respond when you are feeling anxious, because that is a reaction and that is not a response. So you want to be very, very centered in yourself in order to have the right response. No matter how dire the situation is, the response will meet that in the best way, as long as you respond from a space of peace, from a space of love, from a space of acceptance. So acknowledge the thoughts that you have. Have a little quiet, yes, I see you. Yes, I see that. And then notice what happens when you acknowledge that thought. So for a lot of us, negative thoughts and negative beliefs, right? We immediately assume that those beliefs and those thoughts are true. So we resist them. That's what's happening. So let's say you're going out and you're afraid something you don't want to happen will happen, right? We immediately assume that that thing that we don't want is happening. That's why our body reacts, or we have this emotional reaction to it. No, I don't want it to happen, right? That creates that internal pressure, that creates that negative response, because that thing actually in actuality hasn't occurred yet. You don't know if it's going to happen. It's an assumption that you made, it's a possibility, it's not actual fact. So you want to acknowledge the fact that that firstly is not true. So tell yourself, make a mental note, that thought that I had about this thing that is going to happen, that is not true. I'm acknowledging this. I accept that I have this thought, and I acknowledge that I have this thought, but it is not true. And I don't know if it is true, right? Once you have that, once you have that perception that that thought is not true, or you have rightfully perceived that that is a thought and this is your internal being, then there is a separation, there's a certain sense of detachment, right? And then the resistance to it is no longer there. So even if that thing that you assume is going to happen happens, you can respond to it um, from a positive state of being rather than a negative, anxious one, right? So first of all, accept that you have a thought that is negative. Know deep down that it is not your objective truth. It is simply a possibility. It can happen, it may not happen. Most of the time, for us who, for most of us who always go on the negative, projection of things, we do tend to believe that it is true and it will happen. But stop yourself right there, interrupt that pattern and notice and tell yourself that is not true. You have to say this to yourself, that is not true. And then stop that pattern right there. Then go about your day. Do the breathing, do the centering. And next time, keep becoming aware of the thoughts that trigger you, the thoughts that trigger that feeling of anxiety. What is that actual thought? Once you identify the thought, you can identify the belief behind the thought. So if you have a belief, in order to identify the belief, you can ask yourself this question, and usually the answer pops right up in the mind. So the question is, what do I have to believe is true to make me feel this way, or to make me think this way? What do I have to believe is true to make me feel or think this way? So that is the question you can ask. So when we are trying to break a cycle in the mind, or when we are trying to become very conscious of our subconscious mind, it is good to ask questions. Ask your mind these questions. Question why it's telling you this. You can talk to your mind, and it is important that you have that relationship with your mind, instead of the mind becoming the dictator in your life. So for most of us, the subconscious runs our life, right? It is very rare that we are conscious of the thoughts that are actually creating that feeling of anxiety, that are actually creating or influencing that feeling of overwhelm. So notice the thoughts, notice, inquire, ask the question of why. What are you trying to tell me? Even if you have an emotion, what is this emotion trying to tell me? So that is a little bit about how to feel better. So I shared a technique, and I shared a little bit about how these things happen and how to take it a little bit further. So um, anxiety and the feeling of overwhelm is a state of mind. It is a state of mind. It is not a condition. So if it's a state of mind, you can come out of it. You can change that state. The feeling of being overwhelmed, that is also a feeling state. So anything that is a mental construct, anything that is a feeling state, anything that is, whatever you throughout your five senses, you can sense in your physical body, all of these things are subject to change. They will change. They're never permanent. They're only permanent when we run away from them, because they're trying to tell us something and we're constantly running away. So they're going to get louder and louder, and that's why people experience their anxiety or their depression getting worse and worse. What it is that if we stop, take a moment and take a look at these things, these internal mental states or emotional states, then that feeling, that kind they stop becoming too much for us. So you want to take the time to inquire. You want to take the time to ask those questions. What do I have to believe is true to make me feel this way? What do I believe is true to make me think this way? So those are the questions you have to ask. Those are the few things you have to put your attention to. So just remember, you can feel better instantly. You can feel better instantly. All you have to do is one, excuse me, accept how you're feeling right now. Whatever it is you're feeling, accept it as it is. It is only the reality of this moment. It is not your permanent reality, only this moment. Number two, bring your awareness, bring your attention back into your body, back into your breath. And you want to become very aware of the back of your body, almost the backbone, the spine, the back of your heart, that area. You want to almost recede your focus and attention inward, and then become very aware, acutely aware of your breath. Don't change your breath, don't force your breath, just watch it. Watch it as if you're watching someone else, right? So just watch your breath. And then when you are in a peaceful, calm state of mind, then decide to respond. If you have an urgent matter that you need to respond to, then respond. But respond from a space of peace, of internal calm. There is internal stillness. It should feel spacious and still within you, like a calm lake. Anything else is reaction. So don't react. Reactivity always gets us into trouble. As far as you can, do not react. Stop it right there and bring yourself back until you can feel that peace. You can feel that awareness sort of settling, then respond. So time will wait for you. Don't worry about that. Time will always wait for you to become calm. And it takes practice. All of this takes practice. It doesn't happen overnight. It is the patience you have with yourself. It is the dedication to feel better. And it is the discipline to bring yourself into, you know, the discipline is to create that internal structure. So this is your safety. This is your sort of home within your home, right? You have to create the space. The discipline creates that for you. The dedication brings you consistently back to this practice. You're dedicated to your well-being. You're dedicated to making yourself better. That is the dedication. The patience is, this thing takes time. It takes sometimes, if we are very much entrenched in this sort of the mind chatter, it takes time for the mind to keep quiet. When you start this practice, it gets a hell of a lot louder, right? You want to become aware of that too, that it will get louder. So that patience is the first thing you need. Just be patient, just be aware and bring yourself back. So you must know nothing is going to happen. Time will wait for you. The situations will wait for you. The mind will try to convince you that it is life or death right here, but it is not. It is not. We have all been there. I have been there many times where the mind is so convincing in its fearful construct that, it will tell you, it will convince you, if you don't take action now, you're going to lose everything. Or if you don't take action now, something horrible is going to happen to you. Do not listen to that voice until you feel a sense of peace, until you feel this sense of stillness within you and that space, then respond. Some situations clears itself, so there's nothing really you need to do. But if there is, and that is very rare, if you're struggling with anxiety, if you're struggling with that feeling of being overwhelmed, it is very rare that you are in a position where you need to take immediate. Mostly it's mind chatter at the moment. So I hope this serves you. And the next thing I would like to talk about in the next session is, excuse me, the law of attraction. So we live in a universe that functions under certain laws, and there's those same laws in a similar way applies to our being and our psyche. Most of the time, people assume this is part of the spiritual field, or this is part of the inner transformation field, and people rarely connect it to the actual mechanism of the psyche. But we're going to talk about it because there are laws that govern the universe. There are laws that govern how we think, how we feel. These are not man-made laws. These are natural laws, just like the law of gravity or Newton's laws. These are natural laws. Things just move a certain way. The mind just works a certain way. So we're going to talk about these things, and we're going to when we understand the mechanism, the dynamics, it makes it a lot easier for us to maneuver ourselves within that space. At the moment, we are walking in a space blind for most of us. If we are struggling emotionally, that's what's happening. We are walking blind and we have no help. So what I intend to do with these in these series is to bring that awareness, that that understanding of these natural laws that govern the psyche, that govern our understanding of our mind, of our being, and use that in a way that creates well-being for us. So the next topic is the law of attraction, and I hope you can join me. Thank you very much, and have a lovely rest of the day.